And welcome back. We are embarking upon our second and final conversation for the morning. And this conversation has to do with how to get and stay motivated on your own. That being said, we have with us Charlotte Neal Lopez. She is the Managing Director of Belize Institute for Service Excellence, Leadership and Research, BISLR. Good morning, Charlotte.
Hi, good morning, Isani. Good morning, Marlene. And may I say Happy New Year's as
Wow.
well to you guys.
Same to
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
All right, so it is Motivation Monday, and we're trying to find the best way how we can remain self-motivated. There are a lot of us out there who need that little impetus, or we need that push from someone else around us. But in the absence of having persons who are there for us, how can we be able to do so on our own?
Awesome, thank you. So, 2 weeks ago, this is our third week, we embarked on a free webinar, and it's called Motivation Mondays. And for the past 3 Mondays, we've been engaging members of the Belizean public for free on how to get motivated and how to stay motivated. Now, as I shared when I was on one of your shows, maybe last year, that our vision is for inspired people who are serving with passion and excellence. And we believe that if people can just be inspired, motivated, that if they can find that passion, that through that they will excel and Mondays will not be a drag. We like to say that we have two types of people, those who love Mondays and those who don't. And those who don't love Mondays are those who are not so motivated. And so I know that a lot of focus is on setting goals and having vision, and we want that. We encourage you to do that. You need that. But unless you have that intrinsic motivation, you are not going to meet those goals. That vision will feel like a far off pipe dream. So, how do you dig deep inside to find that motivation, that intrinsic motivation that we so often lack? And we wanted to make this information available because I realized that in my quest to find more meaning in life, that it was a huge search. It was not something that was readily available. It took me years to get to where I felt that I was finally living out my purpose. And so we want to be able to help others to come to that place even quicker. All right? So what do we do? And how do you start finding that motivation?
Yeah.
And we believe that it is in finding your purpose, that your passion is in your purpose. And whenever we start talking about finding your purpose, people feel like it's wow, that's huge, that's big, we don't talk that kind of language. And for a long time I felt that finding your purpose was well, what do I have to do?
So
Go off to the
very, very
mountain?
out there.
Yes,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Until I discovered through, really searching and researching and listening to some of my powerful key motivational speakers, that your purpose really is in your passion. And so we start off by looking at what it is that you like to do, what it is that brings you that joy, what it is that motivates you. And it is in that you find your passion. I go back to maybe one of my second job, and I was a secretary. And I enjoyed being a secretary. And I was like, I like this. And later, when I was able to look at my passion and my purpose, I realized I don't like being a secretary. What I like is dealing with people.
Yeah.
I like interacting and engaging with people. And so that provided me the opportunity to do that. And it's something I am still passionate about. So what is it that you're passionate about? What it is that you enjoy doing with the least amount of effort? And it's a question that all of us should be asking ourselves. I can guarantee you, Marlene, you've been doing this for years. And I bet you if you were not passionate about it, you would have been long gone and been replaced by somebody else. Am
I
I
would
right or am I
prefer,
right?
I would take back my sleep any day, but I do enjoy it. That's why, yeah.
Exactly right. And so maybe for you, it's interacting. Everybody has. Now, the trouble with finding our purpose and why we dismiss it is that we think it has to be a big
That's
calling.
right.
We have to be saving the world, or we have to be the CEO, or we have to be some, it's whatever you love doing.
Yeah.
That is where your passion will emerge. If it's baking cakes, if it's you know, cutting hair,
Let me let
if
me
it
let me
whatever
ask
it
you a
is.
question here, because it's interesting that you started this at the beginning of the year, and I'm sure you've gotten a lot more insight into kind of where we are in our mindset here culturally, in how we see what our motivators are. I know when you read books on this or you hear different articles, there are different schools of thoughts, and one of them is that people have different value systems, and so some people place more value on the contribution of the work that they do. Some are looking for maybe the titles and prestige that come with it. Some like to know that they're helping to build a community, to educate, to assist in some way. Some are looking for earning money, and being able to advance their life based on that. How do you factor these things in? Because I see that as a real sense in what really pushes people to work harder.
I totally agree with you. Dan Maxwell talks about survival.
Yeah.
He talks about the other level, which is success. And then he talks about significance.
Yeah.
And for me, I found that so interesting because at that survival stage, you don't find a lot of fulfillment. You're going through the routines and you're doing it because you have to do it. You need to pay the bills.
Yeah.
But I believe that you can still find significance at that survival stage. For me, significance is about how you are able to contribute and impact the lives of others, those around you. And that does not have to be anything grand. Significance can also be that you are living out your dreams, you're living out your purpose. And so there is significance on that. When we place our success, when we rate our success on the material things, when we measure it against what we are able to accomplish materialistically or position wise, it's fleeting and it does not bring you much lasting value or pleasure or passion even. I find that even when you accomplish all of this, sometimes you feel empty if you're not doing it for a purpose, if there's no passion behind it. So it really comes to nothing, in my opinion, that significance is really the goal for all of us. And we can do that in our own small way.
There you have the
wherever
question.
we are planted.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I said, there you have the question. What values give my life the greatest meaning?
Yes, right? It's important that all of us find that. One of the things I find in our culture as well is that we don't often ask ourselves the question, how badly do I want this thing? Because that is what's going to help push you in the direction that you want to go. How badly do you want it? What is it that you're willing to do to get this thing that you want? And sometimes we're not hungry enough. Les Brown says you got to be hungry. And we're not hungry enough. We get discouraged easily. We give up. Because
Or
for
we
us,
get
it's like
complacent.
complacent. But if you are passionate, it's the passion that's going to fuel. It's the passion that's going to keep you up late at night, early in the morning. It's a passion that's going to drive you forward. Steve Jobs said to, find what you love.
Yeah.
Do what you love, and you will never work another day in your life. And I laugh when I hear the quote. I understand what he's saying. But the truth is, you will work harder than you ever worked on that thing you love. But it's a labor of love, and
Yeah.
that's why it does not feel like work.
Yeah.
It does not feel like work. You keep going because in your mind, you're excited. You're all lit up. So I'm not telling people, quit your day job, because some people are like, Ms. Neal, that's all good for
Life
you. I
is
have
real.
to work.
Yeah.
I have bills to pay. So nobody's saying quit your job. That's a reality for many. But I advise two things. Find something that is as closest as possible to the thing you enjoy, or along with your day job. Don't lose sight of what you are passionate about. And every opportunity you are given, or you create those opportunities to do those things that you will keep you alive, right? Be relentless in the pursuit of the things that set your soul on fire. That is how you really feel alive. I see people drag themselves to work daily. It's like, oh, I'm here again, another day. Is it just 2 o'clock? And I too went through that routine for a period of time, but I found that while I was doing things that paid the bills, I also could pursue things that I was passionate about, and I could develop those skills, and eventually I could move into that role completely. So it's possible. It's
Yeah.
very possible.
So it's also very realistic, and I think it's necessary for us to acknowledge that sometimes, even with a clearly identified purpose, we lose motivation along the way. And it's a really difficult time right now. Things may be, maybe you lost a loved one, maybe you lost a job, maybe you lost some income, maybe you're just struggling with everything going on. And we lose our motivation too sometimes. How do you kickstart that engine inside of you to get the fire going? What are some of your recommendations? Because it's oftentimes a bit, I think, depressing for people when they think that, oh, I'm not motivated anymore, and people may make it sound too easy.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Remember, what you lose is your motivation.
Yeah.
You don't lose your purpose.
Yeah.
Your purpose is that it's within you. It's what you do. It's what you love. And so sometimes losing your motivation simply means that you need to take a break. Rest if you must. Just don't quit. It requires, to me, sometimes I lose my motivation and I go back and I get engaged. I get engaged with things that's going to help me back on that path. Sometimes it's picking up something that has nothing to do with the purpose, the goal, my job. It's picking up something like exercising or taking a break and going off somewhere. And while I'm there, I find my balance, and I find that maybe I was just too overwhelmed. There were too many thoughts flooding my mind that I did not see a clear path. What I needed was to seek clarity.
Yeah.
And so I come back. Or I talk to people. I listen to stories, and then I remember, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. This is why I'm doing it. And without this, I feel like I am lost. This is my calling. So while you lose your motivation, you don't lose your purpose.
Yeah.
And you get back on again, and it's okay. It's okay. But that fuel is out there if you look for it. One of the things I also recommend is talk to people. Talk to people who know you well, and you will find that they are amazed at the things that how well you do what you do. It's like, girl, you can't stop cook. I mean, your cooking is the best. You make the bomb chicken. It's like, how can you? I was like, really? Yes, you can. And you see, that helps, right? When
Yeah.
people tell you, no, I need what you do. The world needs what you do.
That's
So
a
it's
form
what
of
you tell
positive
yourself and what
reinforcement.
others tell you. Yes, Armin? Yes?
No, I'm saying it's also a form of positive reinforcement.
It is, one of the things, like I said, it's like getting that mentality that says you can't quit. And you go back and you look at your success, because sometimes we overlook our successes. We don't realize how far we've come. So sometimes getting that motivation requires going back, and then you say, wow, I was doing so and so, and look what I'm doing now. I'm doing better. And sometimes it's not about the money, it's about the impact.
Yeah.
Because motivating yourself also requires looking at the impact you're making. And so when people are able to give you that positive feedback and to say, I heard your story and it changed my life. That's exactly what I was going through. That's where I was. And so I encourage people to tell their stories as well. I tell others, tell your story. Let people know it's difficult. The road is hard, but it's possible. It's possible if you keep going and keep going. It's not a bed of roses, but that thing within you, it's not going to leave you. You're going to feel frustrated unless you continue on that path to finding your purpose and your passion.
I love the share your story part. I think that many times you may see what you personally consider as a success in another person, and you perhaps only see the good from it, but you don't know all the work that came along with it. All the challenges,
definitely.
all the failures, all the no's, all the tough nights, all the rebounding that may come from it. And
that is a fact.
Yeah.
And Marlene, and this week we are talking about authenticity.
Yeah.
And I believe we need more authentic people, more authentic leaders who are willing to share their story, own their story, and say, this is where I came from.
Yeah.
This is what it's about. And you too can do this. But we often, like we see the finished product. We don't see the labor, the cry, the tears, the things people had to give up, the losses along the way. We look at the end products. We forget that along the way, these people were planting seeds, and it's the fruits of that labor that is now coming to bear. And so I encourage people to tell their stories.
But how do you do that in the social media world, where all people want to see is the highlight reel of your life?
Yeah, there's this famous author, speaker that I love that speaks about vulnerability. She's
Brené Brown.
Brené Brown.
Yeah.
And she's awesome because she looks at the fact that authenticity is not, and sharing your story is not going telling everybody, and you pick your audiences, you pick what you want to say. You don't go tell your stories to complete strangers. There is a way to do it in such a way. And social media, you are so right.
Yeah.
If it's not that, if you share a joke, you're going to get thousands of likes.
Yeah.
Share a deep, touching story, and a few people will comment. But that speaks to the fact that we are not used to that vulnerability, that authenticity. It's a clear indication, because to be vulnerable also requires that you hone that skill of empathy, that you are able to put yourself in the person's shoe. Instead of turning your head and pretending it doesn't exist, you actually stop and say, that must be tough.
Yeah.
So empathy is one of those qualities that goes along with vulnerability and authenticity. They go hand in hand. And we as a society, we're not used to that. We're not used to that.
The concept seems foreign to us.
It makes us feel uncomfortable because it reminds us too much of our stories, if we're honest. And we don't want to go there. We don't want to go there. But we should go there. We should go there.
So what's been the experience talking about motivation with a group of Belizeans online?
It's been awesome. People can relate, and I try to make it as practical as possible.
Yeah.
I try to give practical things that can be done, including, if you notice, we have a life purpose questionnaire that people can take their time and go through the questionnaire, ask themselves some of the difficult questions. For me, it's more stirring up the conversation, making this information available and letting people know it's possible. It's very possible, but you have to want it. You have to want it so bad that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. It starts with you. I can read 1,000,000 books and watch 100 videos and attend 2,000 courses. But if I'm not internalizing this information, because the motivation needs to be intrinsic. So that's a help, but it's here. It's really here. My final thing that I encourage people to do in our courses is to get a mentor. And your mentor needs not be somebody that is physically that you can meet with, but it's somebody you emulate. That's where you want to go. That's your standards. That's the thing that powers you up. Maybe their stories are similar to yours. If you can get a mentor that you can meet with and interact with, that's going to be awesome. But if not, then just find those that you know look up to. For me, in my earlier days, it was opera. I was crazy about opera. I was like, opera, opera. I wrote opera's letters. I sent her emails. She didn't answer any, of course. I wanted to be, my dream was like, I need to be on the opera show. But see, I'm doing something better now. I am on Open Your Eyes with Marlene.
Ah,
So-
there you go.
but it was, and so
Yeah.
that was my, my thing is like, find, and that's standard. And so it does help in
Yeah.
terms of where you want to go. Who is your model? Who are you looking up to? Can we find it? It's possible that you can look up to that, find out their story. It's going to help. It's really going to help along the way.
You know, when you mentioned earlier about the fact that we must be honest and know that some people are looking at just basic survival, but even in that space, you can create some of your drivers, some of your motivations as well. And I can't help but think of people that I know are struggling either with insufficient work or no work, and they're still the most pleasant people you can interact with. They're honest about what they're going through. They're not pretending that everything is honky-dory, but they're still positive because they know an interaction or the interaction that they have is also important. And it for me, it's the first example that came to mind when you spoke of still, even in survival mode, we can still be purpose-driven.
You can be. You see, there's that hope that your passion and your purpose springs in you. And one of the things is to ensure you don't give up hope. Where there's hope, there's life. Even the Bible tells us that. And so it's hope. It's getting up every day. Sometimes I get up and I say, something good is going to happen today. I don't know what that thing is, but it's going to happen today. And nothing happened today. I say, okay, tomorrow. It's going to happen tomorrow, but every day I get up, I'm expectant. I'm planting seeds. I continue to push. I don't give up. Even when money isn't coming in, funds aren't, what you would want them to be. You keep pushing and you say, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
I can't give up, because if I give up, if I have nothing and I give up now, I'm still going to have nothing.
You have less.
But if I keep pushing, chances are 2 weeks or a month from now, I'm going to have something, even maybe not what I want.
Yeah.
But giving up really means that you defeat yourself even before you enter the starting gate. One of the things that we also look at is overcoming that fear of rejection. Why a lot of us, we don't put ourselves out there. We don't put ourselves because we are afraid of rejection. And it's a real phenomena. When we study it, studies have shown that when it comes to rejection, that the same part of your brain that is engaged, that reacts when you are feeling physical pain, that's the same part that responds to rejection. It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's not perceived.
Yeah.
And I said, wow. But understanding that there is a way to overcome that fear, and it's on that other side of fear that you are going to find success. And to every no you
That's true.
receive, it builds you up. If you don't take it personal, if you say, okay,
If you learn from it.
You
You
learn from it. You
yeah.
learn from it. You don't sit down and say, "Oh, I wasn't good enough," or they don't. You keep going. You keep going, and you say, "Okay, I didn't get this one. Now what do I have to do? Maybe I have to brush up on my resume. Maybe I have to change my pitch." But I'm going back in,
Yeah.
and you go back in, and you don't quit until you win, and then you celebrate those small wins.
Well, I feel like we just had our motivation Monday just now in this session. I don't know about you, Isani.
No, I'm here soaking it all in
Yeah.
because it's real what she's saying.
It's so refreshing to hear, and no matter if you feel like you're a self-driven person or you're not, it's so good to hear that we are all ideally looking towards the same direction. It's just kind of staying on that path. Charlotte, how do people get engaged in your Motivation Mondays? I think you said it's a free session.
It's a free session. Today is the last live lecture,
Okay.
and you can send me a text at 670-9564 just because it's this late for you to register.
Yeah.
But if you text me 670, send me a little WhatsApp 670-9564, I will send you the Zoom link. But if you're not available for our live sessions, that's fine. You can still go to our online learning platform at www.bzlearn.com and get enrolled, because we upload the live lectures and a wealth of really great information for you as well on the site. So you still can tap into it after the fact. We would love to have you.
All right. Well, thank you for giving us our Motivation Monday for today, and also for offering it to the wider community as well. I'm sure you guys have had a number of productive sessions, and people can now be motivated to check out all the other online courses that you have available as well.
Yes, we have a calendar from January until July, and we encourage you to go to our website again, bzlearn.com, and find out more about our courses, as well as each month we offer a free course, a free mini course. Next month we have time management. So there's a lot going on. We have courses specific for teachers. We have courses for public officers and public sector employees. There's a lot going on at bzlearn.com. We also have a Facebook page, Belize Institute for Service Excellence, and we encourage you to just go on and get engaged.
All right.
Our motto is engage, inspire, equip. You will leave with something. You will leave with something.
All right. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Thank you so much too, Marlene. And I'd like to leave you guys with a quote on courage from Theodore Roosevelt, and a reminder, especially regarding that question you asked me about Facebook posts and the way people respond. And he talks about, it's not the critic that counts, and not the man who points out how the strong man stumble, or where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit belongs to the man in the arena. Get in the arena. That's the word I want to leave with you today.
That's one of my favorites there too. It's on my wall. Have a great day, and thank you so much.
It's my pleasure as always. Have a good day, everybody. Goodbye, Belize.
And we're just gonna wrap that part up. I feel like we've gotten a lot of motivation there, and we will be back in a few to wrap up our show.